Yeah. I got him in here cooking tonight after he worked 12 hours. See? This is what you need to do when you come home from work. Just like I do every other night, okay? I know he's going to say, well, you should be cooking every night because I pay the bills. But guess what? Guess what, buddy? That's not how it's going to work around here. You're going to put in some extra work when you get home.
Well, why don't you go in there while I'm doing this?
Because I need to make sure you're doing it correctly. What are you talking about? Don't try to push me out of my kitchen.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be up in my space while I'm fucking cooking.
I'm not in your space. I'm just monitoring the situation. I'm making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And when you're done, you're going to clean all those dishes in that sink. Because they're not going to do themselves. And I damn sure ain't going to do them. Not after the day that I had staying home all day. I'm stressed out. So after your little 10-hour shift, what was it? 12? I think it was 12 hours. But after your little shift, you're going to do those dishes. And you're going to serve me dinner too. It don't even look very good.
Now, I don't know if this is real or not. With the internet, you never know. But if it is real, just like the women love to say, may this type of love never find me, because I want nothing to do with this. And I don't even blame the wife. I blame the husband. If you are dealing with this is on you. You don't have to deal with that, but you're dealing with it. So maybe he likes it. I don't know. But there is no way I'm dealing with that. Then you're going to stand there and gloat about it like you just scored a touchdown? No, I'm not dealing with that. And then she did something that women love to do that is the absolute worst to me. And that is when they ask you to do something, you do it, and then they want to stand over you to make sure you do it right. Then why don't you do it then? If you want to make sure it's done right, you do it. Why am I here? Because all you doing is critiquing everything I do anyway. I want no parts of that. I'm always on here telling women they got to choose better. Well, that same thing applies to you men. You got to choose better. There are so many women out there looking for providers, but this is what they're expecting. They want you to go out and work all day, and they don't want to take care of you when you get home. They just want you to pay the bills. So you got to be careful if you are a provider man on choosing a woman like this. But good luck to this man, because I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
No, I did not get dumped. Technically, right? I was the one who chose to walk away from the situation because my needs weren't being met, and I just felt like if I was to stay, that would be me settling, and I'm not a fan of settling in any capacity of my life, especially in dating. The reason I was saying I got dumped is because when I presented the situation to the guy, like, these are my needs, I feel like they're not being met, I feel like the best decision is for me to walk away or for us to end things because we're just not aligned, blah, blah, blah. The response that I would have wanted would be like, okay, how can we make this work? What can I do? I want you. I want to be in this relationship. I want this to work. Let's figure this out. And I didn't get that. So essentially it's like, yeah, I got dumped.
Do you see what I'm saying now about how they communicate? When she approached that man and said, I think it's best that we split, or I move on, or I leave, or whatever, anything you say after that doesn't matter. Because all we heard was, she's out. She doesn't want to be here. She's not happy with me anymore. She's leaving me. That's how it sounds to us. But then she turns around and say, I wanted him to fight. I wanted him to put some effort in. And that's all well and good. But if you wanted him to fight and you wanted him to put some effort in, why didn't you say that when you approached him? Why approach him and say, this ain't gonna work, I'm leaving, I already got my bags packed, so yeah, that's what's happening. And then want him to beg you to stay. It doesn't make sense to me. Why didn't you come to him and say, listen, I don't like how things are, I'm not getting my needs met, what can we do to fix this together? Because I want this to work. Why couldn't you just say that? See, if you say that to a man, you are telling him he has a fighting chance. But when you say I'm already leaving, a lot of men are gonna take that as it's over. It's just like if you're watching a football game and one of the teams are down by 4 touchdowns. Most teams are just going to call it a day. They're going to put their subs in, their backups. They're just going to chalk it up to a loss. That's what they're going to do. Now, there will be some teams out there still throwing Hail Marys and running the Statue of Liberty play, trying to win the game, but most of the teams are going to quit. And that is exactly what happens in these relationships. When you come to a man and say it's over, some men are going to fight, but most men are going to just think it's over. Stop with the mental gymnastics. Just communicate what you want, and you will probably get the results that you're looking for. She sat there and said, well, I was expecting him to just fight. Why? Why would you expect somebody to fight after you tell them you're out of here? You're not fighting for him, you're leaving. Y'all gotta quit this. Y'all watch so many movies and dramas, y'all think that's how life works. It just don't work that way. If you say you want to leave and you don't want to be here anymore, there are some men out there who are gonna just take your word for it. A winning battle to me is somebody that say they want this to work, let's make this work together. Not somebody who want me on a bended knee like Boys to Men. That's all I'm saying. Just communicate what you want in that moment and stop with the head games, ladies. Just stop. Stop that. Y'all drive me crazy with that. And one more thing I want to add. I know there's going to be some women out there who's going to say, I've tried to talk to him, but he didn't listen to me. He doesn't want to change. Well, in that situation, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not saying you can't leave a man. I'm just saying don't tell that man you plan on leaving him just so he can fight for you, because that's the head game. If you plan on leaving him, just leave him. If you're in a relationship, a marriage, or whatever, you shouldn't bring up leaving, divorce, none of that stuff unless that's your decision and that's what you're going to do. Because until those words come out somebody's mouth, we can fight for this. But once you start talking divorce and I'm leaving, then that's what it is. Because at that point, there are going to be some men and women who will no longer want to fight if the other person is throwing it out there like a threat. That's all I'm saying. This video right here just pissed me off. This guy here is the CEO of Boeing. They make airplanes and a bunch of other stuff. And what he said in this video was crazy. Y'all check this out.
What is it that you get paid currently?
Senator, that's well disclosed in our proxy documents in each of the years that I've been employed.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's a big number, sir.
Well, let me help you out. It's $32.8 million this year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
That's a 45% increase over last year. Does that sound right?
Yes, it does.
45%, which means last year he made around 17 million and the company still thought they needed to pay him another 14, 15 million. Whatever, that's fine. But this part is the real issue I have with this video.
You've got 32,000 machinists. These are American workers who work for you. These are Boeing employees in the Pacific Northwest. They got 1% wage increases over 8 years. 1% over 8 years. You got a 45% increase just last year, and you're making $33 million. You think maybe these folks deserve a raise?
Oh, they will definitely get a raise.
Good. Good. I hope it's a substantial one.
Me too, because all you've been doing is giving them pizza parties for the last 8 years, and I'm pretty sure they're sick of that. They gave the people who keep this company running, the day-to-day people, the mechanics, the engineers, the technicians, they gave those people 1% over the last 8 years, even though we know inflation, cost of living has been going crazy. Now, here's the biggest issue I have with this whole thing. This company is public, which means they have investors, a board. Someone had to approve him getting that type of raise. They also had to approve that those workers only got 1% over the last 8 years. So my issue isn't just with Boeing, it is with our country as a whole. These companies are so focused on making the most for their investors, they don't care about the people who actually do the work. I am not saying the CEO doesn't deserve a lot of money. I'm not one of those people who think they should make the same as the people on the floor. But what I am saying is that if you can look at the CEO and say he deserves 45% raise on 16, 17 million, and you can't look at those workers and say they deserve more than 1%, we have a problem in America. This is a real problem. Like I said, this isn't about Boeing. This is about all these companies. Amazon, to me, is one of the biggest culprits. The owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he is worth $235 billion. Billion. But he got drivers out here making $18 an hour. How much is too much? If he just took $1 billion off of his salary, they can pay those drivers more money. And again, Amazon is public. So there is a board who has to approve all this stuff. So I'm pretty sure the CEOs and the people up top are making great money, but you can only pay your drivers and the people in the plant $18, $19 an hour, knowing that it is hard to live on that nowadays. This is how they operate. They are so focused on making money for the investors, making money for the CEOs, making money for the people on top. They don't care about the people on the bottom, even though the people at the top wouldn't be anything without the people on the bottom. And I'm pretty sure the mechanics at Boeing are making a good living, but that isn't the point. The point is, if you can give this man a 45% increase, you can give the workers who do the day-to-day work more than 1% over 8 years, and that didn't bother the board or the people who oversee this at all. That's the problem I have with this video. And I know some people out there, they don't care. It's like, whatever. It bothers me because this is about greed. This is why there are so many hardworking people out there who can't afford to live because these companies just want it all. They just want it all. It's so greedy in America. It just makes me want to throw up. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the video. Appreciate you watching and see you next time.